News overnight from Jerusalem. 12 soldiers were wounded in the IDF, one seriously in a suspected terror car ramming in Jerusalem. Joined by Michael Oren, former Israeli ambassador to the United States, former deputy minister. Dr. Oren, all terror attacks are terrible. Is this one that really will register in people's consciousness?
For a cause and effect, I think, Hugh, the Trump plan and the Palestinians lash out. The fact is we actually had two terrorist attacks last night in Jerusalem. There was also a shooting attack, and the shooter was neutralized. And at the same time, last night, Israeli forces reportedly struck Iranian positions outside of Damascus, and Israeli forces struck at Hamas positions last night after Hamas fired rockets and mortar shells into Israel. So we were fighting on three fronts last night: north, east, and southwest. Amazing. And it's a normal day in the state of Israel. And no one's saying this is all because of the Trump plan. This is our neighborhood. It is about the toughest neighborhood you can find anywhere in the world.
What is a week after the unveiling of the peace plan, has the frozen nature of Israeli politics thawed in any significant way?
It has not. I mean, Benjamin Netanyahu had this big rollout with President Trump, tremendous press coverage. Then he went off to Russia to receive from Putin a young Israeli woman who had been allegedly caught with 9 grams of marijuana and sentenced to 7.5 years in prison there, basically held hostage there by the Russians. He came back with her. That was hugely popular. And then he went off to meet with the leader of Sudan, which was truly extraordinary because all those Iranian rockets that are fired out of Gaza get into Gaza via Sudan. So these were immense achievements for the prime minister. His popularity went up exactly 1 seat in Knesset, and that is probably ephemeral.
And given that, is there movement on the fringes?
Not much. I think that the Israeli more extreme right, after initially celebrating the Trump plan, woke up after a night of binging on it and found that they had a hangover. What was the hangover? It was the Palestinian state. And the annexation of the Jordan Valley and of certain settlement blocks was supposed to be sort of a sweetener for that bitter Palestinian state pill. But when the annexation didn't come about, increasing numbers of people on the right are now rejecting the Trump plan as providing a Palestinian state. So you almost can't make this stuff up. But the major thing, Hugh, is when you don't look at the parties, look at the blocks. And right now, the right-hand bloc and the center-left bloc are exactly deadlocked.
So if we have another deadlock, Netanyahu remains as prime minister and you have a fourth election?
Well, Avigdor Lieberman, who's supposedly the kingmaker here, has repeatedly vowed that there will not be a fourth election. How that's going to happen, we don't know. He has been intimating that he's willing to form a coalition with the Israeli left, which he has never done before. It's possible, but I will not say with any certainty that we will not go to a fourth round of election.
Now, Lieberman has also said in the past he will never join a government with the Arab list, right?
Well, it won't be with the Arab list, but it will be their implicit support outside of the list. Because without the Arab implicit support, the Benny Gantz bloc can't come anywhere near the right-wing bloc. So Avigdor Lieberman, he may not have Arabs sitting in his coalition, but they'll be sitting outside the coalition and enabling the coalition to actually govern.
Does that fool anyone?
No.
Okay, so
I think at this point, everyone just wants a government.
But he's flip-flopping. Lieberman is flip-flopping from the last time when he said he would not be in a government supported by the Arab list, and this time he's saying or intimating that he would.
Well, I imagine you're sitting down, Hugh, but there are politicians who flip-flop.
Well, I know, but I just, Israeli politics, you have been very, very patient, and we'll probably have that. When is the election date, by the way?
March 2nd.
Okay, so we're at least within a month of this. Has it already gone into overdrive?
No, that's extremely low key, and people have commented about that. No big posters around. I think everyone is almost embarrassed by the fact that we have to go for this third round of elections. But we're expecting a high voter turnout, and you'd think that the electorate here would be tired and say, we've discredited the system. In fact, they're expecting a higher voter turnout for the third round.
Those people who have not voted before, they're very interesting. They were the key to Brexit. They were the key to Trump. They may be the key to Trump's reelection. Which way does the new voter break in Israel?
Well, we have a very high percentage of voters in this country. Sometimes as high as twice as high as what you can get in the United States. Close to 80% we can go up to. So there are not many new voters. What you do have in Israel, to the nth degree, are young voters. We have the largest youth population under 30 of any industrialized country in the world by far. We have basically 3 times the growth rate of certain European countries. And these young people, they don't remember Oslo. They don't remember handshakes. They are right-wing, and they are anti-extreme religious. And that is a huge constituency. That's what Avigdor Lieberman's going for. Benny Gantz is going for. Bibi so far not going for that because he wants to be aligned with the religious.
Michael, always a pleasure.